Today is the day that I caught the biggest steelhead I've ever seen in my entire life. And of course it's on the day that it's most snowy and absolutely freezing outside. And yes, that fish was absolutely massive, but the real story is how I got here. For all the miles that I put in, the private water, the public water, the rain, snow, sleet. Join me on this adventure so that you can learn what it's like to steelhead fish, all the ups and downs, the good moments and the bad. And I can't think of a better place to start off this story than in the snowy mountains of the Pacific Northwest on my favorite hole on one of my favorite rivers in the entire world. I call this the deathbed hole. Yes, it does say deathbed spray painted on the side. Super scenic, I know. This water is looking so good. I'm so excited to fish this spot. This spot has always been really, really good for me. Just perfect in color. So it had just absolutely dumped yesterday. Oh my gosh. What in the world? I got like the world's smallest steelhead. Look at that thing. I don't know if you can see that, but that thing is tiny. I'm not even gonna show the camera this guy because second cast caught a steelhead. I'm actually pretty excited. The water just bumped up, which means there are gonna be just a million people out here fishing. Maybe there's a steelhead in here close. I feel like I've put enough casts in here that I've covered this water pretty good, but nah. Really easy for the fish to just kind of sit right in there. Yes, perfect, perfect. I really like this spot, but it's like super easy access because you can see the bridge is up there and it's just really easy hiking trail to get down in there. Tried this, nothing worked on this. I'm gonna grab the other rod and head upriver and fish underneath the bridge. There's a really slow, deep pool underneath the bridge that honestly I don't ever see anybody fish, so we're gonna check that out. I would much prefer the snow over the rain any day. The rain just gets you soaked. Especially wearing like this down jacket. That rain just absolutely soaks you, whereas the snow, there's just like a little bit of protection from like getting wet and soaked and all that kind of stuff. This water, there's like a foam line here, and then it gets really, really deep. And I'm actually fishing on the opposite side now, so I'm putting another cast. I don't like casting in the same spot. I like just casting one spot, really good drift, another spot, really good drift, and just letting that go down as long as possible. I'm actually underneath the bridge and all this water looks really, really good. That water actually looked really good, and I'm super shocked that I didn't hook one out of there. The fish should be in here. Nobody has fished this spot in the morning, and in my experience, the first person to get to, like, let's say a specific hole or a specific like area, usually they're gonna hook the most fish because those fish haven't been harassed, they haven't been hooked yet. I haven't seen a whole bunch of lures and stuff like floating by their face yet. So this just looks good. This looks prime. It's kind of odd that I haven't got one yet. I'm quite shocked. I can see people starting to show up, the circus of people. I'm just gonna fish this spot out. If I can't catch one in here, I think I'm just gonna, maybe in the next couple of casts, I'm just gonna fish really fast and move down. Yeah, it's just like snow on another side of the bridge. It's really picturesque. I think this hole is just too deep. I'm not even gonna try this one because it's not. I got like one rig for like deeper water, another rig for like more shallow water. I feel like, oh God, I hope I don't slip here. Well, no fish there. It just looks prime. This looks literally picture perfect. Now the second place I fished was actually really difficult to get into. You had to have a rope to go down and go up in this jungly little spot that really nobody fishes. Because I've never fished here before, don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. Essentially, every spot is filled with cars. Driving to this spot, I think I saw 19 trucks. That's got to be like 20 to 35 people that are fishing on the upper part of the river. And the only spots available are these, which are literally impossible to get into, super muddy, super nasty, filled with twines and all sorts of things that trip up your legs. But there are, this river is crawling with people. So spots like this are the only ones that are open. But this looks prime. You have a really nice riffle coming in. You've got a deep pool here. You've got some slower, like slack water on the other side. And then if I can figure out a way to get downriver, get up and over, and have to be really careful because this is super deep and I don't want to slip and fall in, especially with my waders. But if I can get up and over, it's actually looking like that is a prime spot because it's so difficult to get into. I know nobody else has fished it today, but secondly, there's a really nice hole on the inside. It's flat on the middle, and then the far side bank looks just super good if I can cast that far and get a nice drift. So let's check it out. And there's a humongous hole like right down here. Oh, this looks good right here. Like a fit. Okay, I was so sure we were gonna catch one here. No fish here. We'll go down to the next hole. All right, so this is like my 4th or 5th spot during the day. It was snowing on me and I got into some really good looking water. The water looks perfect and I know the fish have to be either on the way here or they're here and for some reason they're not biting. But it's been a little bit rough this morning, and of course I'm forced to fish spots that I do not want to fish because this river is so crowded. Somebody told me this is the most crowded steelhead river in the entire state, and I would believe it. There was 25 cars up to this point. First spot I fished was 19 cars I had to pass till I could get in there and fish. But I'm really excited about this hole because now one thing about this hole that's really special is that it dumps in. You have a lot of fast water, and then it kind of dumps into this deep pool. And in the past, I used to come here with my fly rod and catch a lot of steelhead, so I know this spot is really, really good. Not a lot of people fish here. It is a pain to get down here. Just some hiking through the forest. It's really steep forest, jungly to get down in here. But hopefully I can get rewarded. I'm gonna fish the top of this and then I'm gonna work my way down. That dude fishing up there has been fishing that spot the whole time and hasn't moved. He's gotta be so cold. On this guy, I've got my nightmare jig and he's a little bit longer of a rig. And I can tell that that's getting a lot closer to the bottom. This one, I'm gonna have to re-rig because it's not getting near to the bottom. I just don't have enough length on it. You know, I have about 12 foot. I need a little bit more, either more weight or more length. So I'm gonna have to vary one of those up and just try it out. Kind of interesting because I'm having to go to spots that I normally would never go into or never wanna go into. I'm kind of forced to go in spots that are steep, jungly, stuff I don't really like. And force water that's faster, deeper than what I'm used to because there's too many people here. There's all these people and everybody's been waiting for this rain, and all the spots that are good have a bunch of people in them. For me, it's like finding the fish. That's the problem that I have, is that I don't think they're in this section of the river yet. I think they're just a lot lower. I think in 2 days, this river is gonna be loaded with fish. The fish are gonna be up here. Tonight, I think they're gonna move in. So I don't know. I'm gonna go down river and try a different spot, and then try some private water that's got a little bit more wiggle room and not as many people. So right fishing this spot. I love this spot. I can just cast up and have it kind of go down and just get a really nice long drift. There's 2 areas to fish this spot, one from the head of it and 2 from the tail. These fish could be sitting anywhere in here. I think they're on the move now. I think they've been waiting for so long for water to raise the river levels and move up, but I'm gonna rig up specific to this hole, and then give this a bunch of casts, and if I don't catch anything, honestly, I'm gonna move down, maybe try one more spot, like one more key spot downriver. If I don't catch anything there, I'm going to a different river. This is the main area that I really like right in there. It's just like a little bit slower of water, right? As that white water kind of meets the slower water. And then you can see it kind of gets just shallower and just slower as that run goes on. What I'm doing wrong or where the fish are, but it's not fishing very good. going on the next spot. And I'm thinking the fish are lower down in the river, so we're gonna try a different spot. It's humbling to just keep in your mind like it's gonna happen sometime throughout the day when it hasn't happened yet and you haven't seen a fish, you haven't seen anybody else catch a fish. But let's try this spot down the river. Notice the rope, there's like 2 or 3 ropes there. It's not necessarily to help people go down, it's to help people come back up. Okay, so I fished up that run. Just fished it. That must be 12 to 15 feet deep, and I got all the way to the bottom, ticked on the bottom, gave it about 25 casts, and nothing. So now I'm on a new hole, and it's the same thing. It's kind of like a gully up here. You have like white water, and everything's just really, really narrow, so it kind of forces everything into this tiny little like alleyway. And I can't help but just think that there's steelhead on the bottom, just sitting on there, or actively moving upriver with all this water that's come in. If I don't get anything there, I'm just gonna move my way down and down and down and down until I'm just gonna force my way down until I catch one. And by sheer will, I'm gonna catch one of these fish. So I just put a bunch of casts in this spot, which looks really good. It's got like a really nice deep gully and everything is kind of condensed down in these little like canyon walls. But I didn't get anything, and I'm so surprised. I'm starting to think like maybe I timed this wrong, or I don't know. It's just like a lot of thoughts are going through my head, like what I'm doing right, what am I doing wrong? I mean, I feel like I'm getting good drifts. I've got 2 different setups and switching stuff up, but I have all of this white water to fish. And then I've got a really nice deep pool over here. I'll try that, and then I think I'm done with this river. We're gonna go to a different one because I'm tired of casting and not catching anything. So I don't know what is going on. Kind of frustrating, but let's try this spot down here. It looks really good. Here we go. Imagine it'd be magical if you could fish in there, but I did not. Some tired legs. I just got back to the car, and it's really nice to be warm. I just spent the entire day in the sleet, rain, sunshine, snow. It was a really hard day of fishing. Didn't catch any fish, didn't see anybody else catch any fish, so I got a hotel room really close to here, so I can just go back to the hotel room, get some clam chowder, get some seafood, and just kind of relax. Tie up my gear. There's a lot of stuff I want to do differently with my gear. I want to tie it up differently and tie my knots a little bit better and retie everything so that I'm ready and set for tomorrow. I think the game plan for tomorrow is to get in here and just hit a bunch of these holes really quickly before the boats can get to them. And then this property has 2 miles of river access, so I'm hoping I can just park at the very, very end and work my way up. Or if I get here early enough before the boats, actually hit the first spot, hit the second spot, and then go all the way to the end and then work my way strategically up. So this is what my car looks like after a day's fishing, steelhead fishing. I've got my glasses. I didn't need those at all today because it's just so cold. I've got, a battery charging there. I've got my booklet, which talks a little bit about the property. I have like various moon cheeses and cameras and food. And then back here is just absolutely disgusting because you've got like everything's wet. Like this jacket is just soaking wet. It's been in the rain and there's just mud everywhere on my waders. And I've got excess fishing gear in here, which actually I was able to use today. But look how wet my yellow backpack is. It is just absolutely soaked. These wool gloves actually worked really well. I put them on the dashboard so that they could dry out just like a little bit. Today I'm fishing on private property for winter steelhead. This is going to be a really cool spot because to fish this river you can only get in here via floating or wading. And I'm also driving on the bumpiest road in the entire play. Hold on. Alright, so this is the inside seam. this oh my gosh. Oh, that would have been cool. Okay, let's bomb one way up there, see what happens. Way up into that soft water. That rock is creating like a break in the water tension between the fast and the slow water. And that thing is just kind of getting dragged underneath. Way up in there. Oh, that's good. That's on the left side of that current. Maybe there's a fish just sitting right in that pocket. That's a perfect drift right there. 3, 2, 1. One of the things I learned on this trip about steelhead fishing is it's not necessarily like what you're using or how deep you're fishing. It's more like you're covering as much water as possible. You're just going spot to spot and hitting every hole and fishing it really well. Well, there's a really nice hole in here. And I was hoping that I could actually come down here and be able to cast in there, because in there it's really, really deep and then it starts to get shallow. And so a lot of times these fish will be in the tail out of the pool. You can tell this is like super crazy deep and then it starts to get shallow. But this is really awkward for the drift boats because they have to make a pass really quick. And they don't have the ability to just stop and change leaders and make it really deep, 12-foot leaders. I think the only way to fish it, honestly. This creek all the way down, I'll get to where that dumps into the main river. One of my favorite spots on the river. Now let's catch a fish. Oh, that's just looking so good right in there. Right on the other side of this rock, just walking speed. Really nice and slow. There's my bobber right there. And hopefully the fish do too. Come on, fish. Nothing. I just casted myself right into. I think I can still save all my gear, but my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh, there, and climb underneath. This is all just so I can fish another 30-40 yards of river. Has to be a fish in here. Get out of there. For some reason, this spot, just like right here, just looks like so fishy. I saw this guy earlier today catch a fish upriver, and the speed of the water they caught him on was very slow. You have like a lot of deep, fast water in this river because it's a really narrow, kind of windy river. And the type of water that he caught him in was like exactly like this. Come on, fish. Okay, it's time for a change of pace. I'm gonna go down to the lower part of this river. I'm gonna be fishing on private property, and I've never fished here before, so I'm hoping that my luck will finally change. This spot's private property, and put down here forward. Now this spot is pretty cool because I don't think a lot of people come down here and fish this. This is like really close to the ocean, lower water. And this spot is really cool because it looks like it just kind of gradually gets deeper and deeper to the other side. Maybe it's like 6 foot deep. It just looks like perfect, like blue fox, like spinning water. This is gonna be my last stop of the day because my hands are getting cold. Some rain starting to come in, and the weather tomorrow is supposed to be really icky, just really nasty. Pretty sturdy. Well, I'll give it a go. This is gonna be my last spot of the day. I'm gonna try this spot and then that's it. Never been to this spot before, but there's a really nice hole, I guess, over here. So I'm just gonna make a couple of drifts down here. it looks like there's another spot downriver that's got a really nice hole. This is private property, and you can only come here if you have permission. This part of the river is quite a bit lower than the upper river. Upper river is more congested, really tight spot, canyony, and really difficult to kind of get down and get into. So I fish that pretty much the majority of the day. Changed my luck because I haven't seen a fish on my line in 2 days. It's very humbling. Looks like this spot just gets pounded with boats pretty much all day. It'd be really cool to come here like really early in the morning, really late at night, maybe after all the boats have gone. But I'm gonna hang that up and try the other rod, which is the worm. The sun is like beaming right in my face. It's kind of cool to fish private property where other people can't get into. I didn't even know this place existed. It's got kind of a nice hole on this side. Really difficult to cast to though. Man, if I could actually cast a little bit farther. Oh, what is that? What is that? Oh, man. Oh, if I'm being perfectly honest, it's actually pretty disheartening that I haven't caught anything. I've been fishing for 2 days, one on a river that I know really well. I know all the ins and outs. This river is very new to me. The upper river, middle, and lower, I've actually never caught a fish in this river, so it's all very, very new to me. This is some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in my life, with the like snow-covered mountains and the green pastures and the sun coming through. Like, what an absolute like epic like scene. Like, and now the sun's starting to go away, so it's really interesting. It's like, I'm gonna go down here and try this spot. I've never been to this spot before either. If I do catch one in here, I'm serious when I say that you become a better fisherman when you're not catching fish. Get out there, try new techniques, try different equipment. Man, that mountain is just like so insanely beautiful up there. Oh my gosh, dang it. That would have been kind of cool. This is really interesting because this is kind of like a deep, medium deep spot, but it's kind of featureless. Like, there's some ripples up top, and down here there's really not much. And I just covered this water all the way up from the bank, all the way up there to where that tree is. That's where the property line stops, this spot, because you do have a little bit of a slower current kind of coming in here, right about where the bobber is. That's kind of where the slower and the faster water is. So it's actually turned out to be like a gold mine of really good spots to fish. Do one more bomber cast, but we're gonna put it like way on the other side. A couple more casts, and then I'll hit that hole, and then I can go warm up. I'm gonna go home. We'll get like a nice meal. Okay, well, that was the last spot of the day, and I'm done. So day 1 and 2, no steelhead, just really, really hard fishing conditions. But I'm gonna go back to the hotel, re-rig everything up, put a spinner on. I'm gonna try a spinner tomorrow. I'm probably gonna hit a couple spots here and then drive my way back home and fish maybe spot by spot tomorrow afternoon. But I'm gonna get a late start because tomorrow's supposed to be really icy and just really nasty. So all the bad weather everybody's been worried about is tomorrow. So we'll see how bad it really is. And who cares? I wanna catch fish. Okay, it is day 3, and I'm headed to that private property here on it's kind of like on the middle of the river. And today is like the most snowy day that I've seen. Tons of snow up here, and people are saying that there's fish in the river. I just talked to a guy, and he said that they had touched a couple but didn't land any. So I don't know, I'm optimistic. There are definitely less people on the river today, Hopefully I can start getting into some fish. I know they're in here. It is freezing, it is really cold, and just pulled up to one of my favorite spots on the river. However, I have never caught anything here, ever. I'm on private property again, so I'm gonna fish this hole really quick, that hole really quick. If I don't see anything, then I'm gonna jet back home. This is gonna be my last day, so. Oh, there's a fish. Oh my god, yes! Yes, I finally freaking caught one. Oh my god, yes! Oh god, it's huge. It's freaking huge. Absolutely huge fish. That is a monster. That could be the monster steelhead that I wanted. That was the first cast of the day. Oh my god, how lucky am I? Oh my goodness. Oh god, he's going all the way across the river. Look at that. Don't want to lose him. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. Yes, yes. Oh my god. No, 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 no. If he goes down the rapids, I'm screwed. I hooked it up here, and it has gone all the way here and all the way down into that flat water. I don't know if you can see this. My god, that's a big fish. Oh my god. Oh my god. Do you see that? Oh my god. Look at him. God, it's so big. What a change it was for me after I caught that really big fish. You see, after you catch a fish like that, you just think you're on fire. You're fishing every hole as though there's an even bigger one of those or two of those in the seam or the hole that you're fishing. You're just fishing with such vigor, and instead of doubting yourself and doubting that there's any fish in the river, you just have this built-in confidence that, like, yes, you can do it. Okay, so nothing since that big fish. I just pulled up to my last spot on this private property. I'm gonna fish this. This is the last hole, so it's a really deep, long hole. A couple of fly fishermen went by with the raft, and of course they can't get their flies down there that deep. So if there's a fish in there, they just floated right over them. So far less crowded today on Monday, I'll tell you that. Oh, got my rig, my super fancy bobber with duct tape over it because these bobbers are expensive, like really expensive. So if I can reuse this and give it some more life, I think it was like torn, and I put like epoxy in it, and then I put tape over it, which you can see the tape starting to come off. Just give it a little bit more life in it. It works fine. It'll catch fish. hole. It kind of goes down there. See, so deep I can't even see the bottom. So I'm thinking like, I don't know, 12 to 20 feet deep, somewhere in there. And then it shallows up here just a little bit, but you have these like big rock formations and the water just kind of channels up here. I imagine this is where all the fish, it's just like an alleyway, probably just stacked up in there. And there you have it. That's the story about how I caught the biggest steelhead I've ever seen in my entire life. It didn't come easy. I put in the miles, I put in the work. So to say I'm pumped and I want to come back and do this again is an understatement. I will be back and I will catch one as big, if not bigger, someday.